Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. Welcome back to our 30 days, training for Python. You know, yes. So whoever have joined for the first time today, please consider subscribing our channel because we are going to come up with the new programs in future, and we'll quickly recap what we have covered as part of the previous session. So in the previous session, we have understood introduction to Python, right? So introduction to Python has already covered, as well as we have also understood history of Python and features of Python. So folks joining for the first time, I request all of you to go through the previous session, right? Yes. In today's session, I'm going to fix the agenda where we'll be understanding the Python IDEs. Okay, I'll be talking about an IDE called, you know, Anaconda Navigator, followed by we'll actually start the fundamentals of Python in today's session. That is variables, then followed by data types. Okay, so one by one, we'll start, friends. Okay, so this is the agenda for today's session. Without no further delay, let's get started. Right. And moreover, I'll take up all your questions at the last. All your technical questions will be addressed at the last. Yep. So when it comes to Python IDEs, as part of this particular session, we'll be using an IDE called Spider. We are going to use Spider IDE. What is this IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay. So where can we get this IDE from? That is the second question. No issues. So I'll talk about Anaconda Navigator, where it is again a snake name given to a community. So there is a community called Anaconda. Open a browser and just keep it as Anaconda. Okay. So this community is going to provide a bunch of IDs together at a time. Okay. It's better if you download this software, which will be around 1 GB. You'll get a list of IDs, friends. Not a single IDE. You'll get a list of IDs. Okay, let me show it to you. Again, the installation is very simple. I'll show you the process. Click on enter. Then click on the first link, Anaconda Navigator. Then you see here. So this is the home page of Anaconda Navigator. And in order to download the software, here we have the option. Click on the download now option. It will redirect us to a new page where it will ask you to complete the registration. Don't do all the registration not required. You can just click on skip registration. Done. Now you see here, we have the links for different operating systems. If you are using Windows operating system, you can click on this link. .exe file gets downloaded. In the same way for Mac, these are the links. For Linux, here we have a couple of links. Upon the operating system that you are using, you are supposed to download the software. Once after downloading it, you'll have the home page in this fashion. Okay, I have already downloaded this Anaconda Navigator. Okay, I have installed it long back. This is how the user interface of Anaconda Navigator looks like. Under the home page, in the home section of Anaconda, you'll find all different IDEs. See, we have Jupyter Notebook, we have PyCharm, we have Spider, we have Orange. There are many. R Studio. many IDEs are available in Anaconda Navigator. So that is the reason why we request many of the folks to install Anaconda Navigator, where you can practice Python on daily basis. What makes the difference between these IDEs is only the user interface. Again, here we have multiple IDEs, right? Out of all these, we'll be using Spider IDE. Okay, the moment you click on launch, it will launch Spider IDE. It will launch Spider. And this is the user interface of Spider. Again, the question rises, which IDE has to be used? Should I use Spider? Should I learn PyCharm or Jupyter Notebook or what? If that is your question, friends, if you are a beginner, or even though if you have an intermediate knowledge on Python, my advice is Spider. Start with Spider IDE. The main reason or what exactly makes you to learn Spider is a best IDE for beginners, even for the folks who have the intermediate knowledge on Python. Why? I'll explain. But the actual problem that we have with using Spider is Spider is not generally used in real world. If you are working as a data scientist or a data analyst or even a full stack Python developer, you'll not use Spider. Then what exactly we are going to use? Different companies use different IDEs. It might be Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, VS Code. Okay, so we have different IDEs, but across all the IDEs, our programming language will be same. Python will be same across all the IDEs. The coding will not change. Only the user interface is what is getting changed, right? Then what is the need of learning Python? What is the need of learning Spider? We'll understand. As I have, told that we are supposed to learn Spider in our earlier days. The main factor behind it is, Spider helps us to understand the coding well. Whatever the code that we come up with, we'll have a quick understanding with respect to the output. So this is the user interface of Spider. I quickly walk you through all the options that are available here, and across this particular sessions, across this program, I'll be using only, Spider IDE. Even if we are practicing, my advice is go and use Spider IDE. If you get good hands-on, once if you feel that you are good at Python language, then obviously you can change your tool, your IDE. Probably you can shift to PyCharm or Notebook, Jupyter Notebook or VS Code. That's okay. No worries. Okay. The Python language will be same. It is same across all these IDEs, but the user interface is what will change. Nothing else. I hope it's clear. Now I'll quickly walk you through the options that we have in Spider. So you see here in the top left corner, this first option, which is like a file, when you just hover your mouse on the option, on the icon, this is for, you'll get a pop-up. It means when you click on this particular icon, it opens a new .py file where you can write your code, your script. You can start, typing your script. Then we have second icon. The second icon is you can open any of the .py files. Whatever the scripts that you already have in your local machine, you can open them. Open a file. The third one is once after completing your script, you are supposed to save it. Yes. So you you have to click on the third icon in order to save the file. Then the next icon that we have in the sequence is, it is used to save all the open files at a time. So assume that there are 10 files which are open. And if you want to save all the files in a single go and use icon number 4. See, save all files, right? Then next to it, we have a play button where arrow mark is pointing towards our right side. So this is used to run the file, the complete file, followed by, what if you want to execute only a single line or a selection. So this is the icon. I followed with a arrow mark. So this particular icon helps us to run a single line or a selection. You can also run a selection, friends. I hope it's clear. So these are the important options. And this area that you see here, this is called scripting pane, where we keep our script, Python code. Okay, whatever the code that we are coming up with, we'll keep in this area. Then you see in this pane, we have different panes within the Spider user interface. This is the scripting pane, and this is the output pane, where you'll see the console, the output. Whatever you execute, you'll have the output as part of your console. Then here we have different tabs: Variable Explorer tab, Help tab, Plots tab, and Files tab. Let us also understand these tabs. First one, Help tab. Under the Help tab, you can go and get the documentations of different functions. So if you want to have a quick, look on the documentations of different functions, yes, Help tab is where you can go and read the documentations. Then next to it, we have Variable Explorer. So this is one of the important feature of Spider, where other IDEs they don't provide Variable Explorer ping. So as part of Variable Explorer, you'll have a look on all the variables in your memory session. Okay, then next to it, we have Plots tab. It's nothing but Plots pane, where you'll see the visualizations. Whatever the visualizations that you are going to come up with, you'll find as part of Plots pane. And finally, the files pane. Whatever the files that you have in your local machine, you can access them through this pane. Right? So this is a quick introduction for all the options that we have, as part of Spider. And these are the important options, friends. Slowly and steadily, we'll understand the rest of the options as we proceed further. Right? Once again, welcome back to our session, and it's day 2 of Python for AI 2025 program. Right. So I'll go back. Probably, yes. What did we discuss in the previous session? We have understood what is Python. Python is a programming language. Then we understood the history of Python. We went back to 19th century and we have understood who is the creator of Python, the father of Python, followed by why a snake name was given to a programming language and what made Python very famous. Okay, why is it standing at the top, right? So we have understood all such kind of important topics as part of the previous session. So friends, if you're joining for the first time, just go and have a look at our previous session where we have also discussed the features of Python. So can you quickly tell me what are the features of Python, friends? What are the important features that we have discussed? What all features did we discuss? Python is, yes. What are the features of Python? I want everyone to respond. Don't sit idle. No, we are supposed to interact. Good, good. First and the foremost important feature of Python is it is a simplest programming language. Why it is simple? Because of three main factors. User-friendly syntaxes, a rich set of modules. Then we also have garbage collector. Then what is the second feature? Interpreted language. So interpreted is nothing but, what do you mean by interpreted? Line by line execution. We also understood what exactly happens in the backend. When we execute a .py file, that .py file gets converted to a bytecode, which will be done by a compiler. Once if you get .py will be converted to .pyc. So this bytecode will be converted by compiler, and once after we get .pyc file, this will be, executed by PVM, where the code gets converted to zeros and ones, right? Yes. So this once after the code getting converted to binary language, we, the computers, the machines can understand this language and it gives you the output. Then what are the, it is a good going platform independent language. So it does not depend on the operating system. Then it is a dynamically typed language. What do you mean by dynamically typed language? Dynamic typed language is nothing but where the end users, the programmers need not come up with the data type, right? For the values, for the inputs that we pass, the data types will be fixed by the processor. Then it's a freeware and open source. So it is available for free. Good, extensible, embedded, then robust, and finally we have many libraries. There are a lot of libraries, and using these libraries, we are going to minimize our task. We'll be completely using these libraries, friends. Okay, there are many libraries like NumPy, Pandas, regex, sklearn, TensorFlow, Keras, so many, right? So all these topics we have understood as part of the previous session. And in today's session, we'll be starting with a new topic. So let us go through it. Yep. Good going, good going. Right. So in today's session, let us understand the basic fundamental topics in Python. It's nothing but literals. Okay. What are literals in Python? Literals are nothing but they are values. Okay. So whatever the values that you give as part of inputs in a program, they are literals. And in general, we have four different types of literals, friends. One is integer, float, string, and boolean. But in order to take all these values, it might be a number or a decimal number or, a sequence of characters or boolean values, you should have some objects to store it. Yes, obviously there should be some object in order to store these values. Nothing but the literals, the values should be stored in some objects. Only then I can use these values to do some kind of operations. Right? So I'll start. What exactly are these objects in Python? The objects that we have in Python are nothing but variables and nothing but identifiers. The values that we give as part of program, okay, the inputs that we pass, they will be stored in the main memory. Okay, so within the main memory, the memory space, these values get stored. And in order to process them, we have to come up with names. Some distinct names has to be provided so that these values go and get stored for the names. For different values, we should come up with distinct names. Yes, so we should come up with different names, and these different names has to be identified, and they are nothing but identifiers. They are nothing but identifiers. Okay, so these identifiers, they keep on changing. Within a program, the values for the identifiers, they keep on changing, and they are called as variables. They are nothing but variables. As the values are keeping on changing as part of the program, they are called as variables. So in short, what is the definition for variable? Variable is an identifier whose value, you know, it keeps on changing during the program. Within a program, the value for a variable will not be constant, friends. It keeps on changing. So this is the introduction for variables or identifiers. Now, for variables or identifiers, there should be some ground rules, right? Obviously, for these names, there should be some rules. Only based on the rules, we can define our variables. Yes. So let us go and understand what are the rules that we have as part of creating a variable. We have a set of rules, and these rules has to be, obeyed. Right. So I'll start with the rules of variables. Okay. So within programming, Python programming, in order to create variables, there are some rules, friends. So the first rule says a variable name is a combination of alphabets, either in lowercase or uppercase, nothing but A to Z or A to capital Z. I mean A to Z, which is in lowercase or uppercase. Then followed by digits. You can also have digits and only one special symbol, that is underscore. Only one symbol it is allowed, that is underscore. Okay. So within a variable, you can have a combination of alphabets, digits, and underscore. This is the first rule. Then what is the second rule? The second rule says a variable name should always start with either an alphabet or underscore. What does that mean? It means a variable name should not start with a digit. Okay. So obviously, if you see here, for the first rule, can I use A as my variable name? Yes. Obviously, I can use A as my variable name because it is obeying the rule. Then, can I use ABC? Yes. Still, it is obeying the rule. A100? Yes. Okay. So, friends, do not get worried. I'll be focusing on the hands-on as well. Okay. Let us quickly understand the rules. Then we'll go to the hands-on. Okay. Then, but if you see for the second rule, can I keep the variable name as 1A? No. Why? The variable should always start with only with either alphabet or underscore. But here in my case, it is going to start with a number, which is not accepted. Okay. So it is not obeying the rule. No, it is not accepted. What does the third rule say? Within a variable name, no special characters are allowed except underscore. Only underscore is what allowing us. But apart from underscore, no special symbols are allowed. So that means I cannot use at the rate, I cannot use hash, I cannot use space. No, not these are not allowed. You know, except underscore, no other symbol is allowed, friends. Then coming to the fourth rule, whatever the variables that we have in Python, they are case sensitive. What does this mean? It means, you know, Python itself is case sensitive. It's a case sensitive language. So that means A which is in lowercase and A alphabet A which is in uppercase, both are not seen in Python. This is lowercase a and this is uppercase A. So this is actually the meaning of case sensitive. Okay, I'll come up with some examples anyhow. And the fifth rule says keywords. We have a set of keywords and these keywords cannot be used as variable names in Python. Why? Because the keywords in Python, they are reserved words. They are reserved words and they do have a specific meaning. Okay, they have a meaning. So that is the reason we cannot use keywords as variable names. Some of the examples, if is a keyword, else is a keyword. So I cannot use if, else, so on. The list of keywords that we have cannot be used as variable names. And the final rule says all the variable names that we are going to come up with, they are recommended to take user-friendly names. It's better if give or it's better if you define your variable name with a user-friendly names. So probably, it's very easy to understand all the 6 rules. Now let us go back and do hands-on, right? Yes. I'll open Spider. So friends, do not get worried. I have the list of all the rules as well as for each and every rule, I'll be coming up with an example. There are multiple examples waiting for us. Okay, right. So what does the first rule says? The first rule says a variable is a combination of alphabets, either in lowercase or uppercase, then digits, as well as special symbol underscore. You see here, this is my variable. So whatever characters that we have towards the left side of is equals to becomes your variable. And whatever the values that you have towards the right side of is equals to will become your input. Nothing but your literal values. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to store 1 inside A. Now try to map, okay, whatever we have discussed in the theoretical part, now try to map. I'm going to store 1 inside A. A is a variable, right? So when I'm defining variable, it should obey all the ground rules. Is it obeying? Yes. So will it execute? From here onwards, everyone has to respond in the chat. Okay. So will this execute or not? Is equals to is what we are going to use so that 1 gets assigned to A. Will it execute or not? For execution, I'm going to click on this button. Okay. So initially you are supposed to select the line that you are supposed to execute. Okay. So I have selected line number 158. Just place your cursor on the line and, click on this icon. This says run selection or current line. What is your current line? Line number 158. So let me go and hit on this button. See, it has executed and immediately in the variable explorer, I see the name of the variable, the type of the variable, the type of the value that is getting stored inside this variable, then the size of the value inside the variable and followed by the value. What is the value? It is 1. Friends, for the first time, I'm just, explaining to the depth. To be very clear, I'll be explaining each and every part. Okay, as we go on, I'll increase the pace. Okay, don't get bored. So what I'm trying to say is, when we execute line number 158, what exactly happens? Inside A, we are going to store, it gets stored 1. What is the value? It is 1. What is the name of the variable? It is A. Then what type of value does A hold? It's an integer. What is an integer? We'll understand. Hold on. Okay. Then what is the size? Anyhow, I see only one value. Obviously, the size is 1. We can use different, we can use ideally, but it is not recommended. That's what I am telling you. See, you can also use ideally. That doesn't mean you'll not learn Python. But why am I asking you to start learning using Spider is you'll understand well whatever you type. Okay, you'll see the output here. You can also see all your outputs as part of Spider. But in ideally, do you have all these options, my friend? No, right? So that is the reason it's better if you start practicing Python using Spider, you learn better. You learn well. Okay. Then followed by what is the next example? This example says ABC is equals to 10. I'm going to store 10 inside a variable ABC. See how simple it is. Am I struggling here anywhere? No. Am I struggling? No. See, I want to store a value 10 inside a variable, and my variable has to obey the ground rules. All the 6 ground rules that we have, it has to obey. And once if it obeys the ground rules, obviously it executes. It does not throw any kind of error. No. Okay. Then see, here I'm going to keep my variable name as ABC, which is in lowercase, where I'll be storing the value 10. Let me go and check either it will execute or not. Yes, it is executing. It is executing. You see here, the variable got created and the value that is being stored is 10 inside ABC. Then followed by the next example. X1 is equals to 5. Will it execute or not? I want everyone to respond. Will it execute or not? Yes, it will execute because a variable name can have a combination of alphabets and digits. So it will execute. See, here you see the output. Yes. Then A, which is in lowercase, followed by B, uppercase, followed by B, 5. This is my variable. Will it execute? Is it obeying rule number 1? Yes. So obviously it will store value 100 inside it. Yes. Then what is the next example? PQ567RST. So this is my variable name. Anyhow, I can have a combination of alphabets in lowercase or uppercase and digits. Yes. Okay. And the value that I'm going to store inside it, this variable is 23.5. Let me go and check. Will it execute? Yes, it will execute. See, the name of the variable is PQ567RST. And the value that is going to store is 23.5 and the type is float. What is float? Is it a different topic? No, it's a part of data types. So next two variables, we are going to discuss data types. Hold on for some time. Okay. So I hope all the examples are clear. So it's very simple to create. It's very easy to create variables, right? If you want to store any value, okay, this value has to be stored inside a variable, right? So in order to define a variable, ensure that the variable follow all the ground rules. Now let us go and understand some examples for ground rule 2. Second ground rule. The variable name must start with either alphabet or underscore. Only these two options. So what happens for line number 170? Will it execute, friends? 12 ABC is equals to 10. The answer is no. Why? Because my variable name, whatever I have defined, is not starting with an alphabet. Moreover, I don't have any underscore. So it is starting with a digit. 1 is a digit. It's a number. Okay. So it is against the rule. Since it is against the rule, it when you try to execute line number 170, it throws error. Moreover, you see a cross mark. Okay, you see a cross mark. So this cross mark says invalid syntax. It's not valid syntax. Anyhow, let me execute. I'll get an error. Syntax error is what it says. Okay, so we get a syntax error. What happens to line number 172, friends? I hope it's very clear, right? So a variable should always start with either alphabet or underscore. Yes, it will execute. The reason is it is going to start with an alphabet. ABC is equals to 20. See, when I'm executing a line, parallelly focus on the console, the output, and also go and have an eye on variable explorer. This is very important, right? So have an eye on variable explorer, how the values are being changed. See, now what is the value that ABC stores? It is 20. What happens if I execute line number 174? In line number 174, I'm trying to store 123 inside ABC. Okay, but I already have 20 inside ABC. Okay, so if I execute line number 174, did the value got updated? Yes, the value got updated. It is executing. The main reason is it is satisfying the ground rules, and the value that is being stored in ABC is 123. It's not 20 more, no more. Okay, so that is the name. It is named as variable. Throughout the program, across the program, the value for a variable will not be constant. It may change. It may change. That is why it is named as variable. Right? Then the next example, A123. Is it satisfying the ground rule? Yes. So it will execute. Underscore ABC is equals to 34. Will it execute or not? Yes, it will execute. Why? Because I can also start a variable. I can define my variable with an underscore. So this is also accepted. You see, executed. But why it is not showing here? Is it showing here? No. This is because of settings. Towards the top right corner, there are three lines. When you hover your mouse, you see an options icon. Just click on it. Okay. Then you are supposed to click on this exclude private variables. Okay. So probably here you will get underscore ABC. Yes. By default, it will be the box will be checked in. You are supposed to uncheck so that you'll see the variable friends. It is just a settings issue. That's it. That doesn't mean it did not execute. It got executed, and I can clearly see the variable. Underscore ABC is what I see. And what is the value? 34. It holds 34 inside it. Then what is the next variable that I'm going to define? Underscore SAL underscore. Will it execute? Yes. obviously. Okay, so the value that I'm going to store is 2.3. Done. Let me go and check. Here is the value. I mean, here is the variable and the value. Underscore 123. Will it execute? Because I have numbers, but before numbers you have underscore. So it is satisfying the ground rule. It will execute. Underscore 123. Probably you should have at the top. Yes. Then only underscore is equals to 23. Will it execute or not? Yes, even line number 184 will also execute, friends. The reason is, even though if I am not coming up with any alphabets or any digits, I can still use only underscore to store a value, to store a literal. What is the value that I'm going to store? 23. Okay, so here is the variable and the value. Is it making sense? So initially we understood two ground rules along with the examples. Now let us go and understand the third ground rule with examples. Within the variable name, special symbols are not allowed. Yes, apart from underscore, we cannot use any other special symbols. Not possible. Okay, so here is my variable. It is total space salary and I want to store 2.3. Will it execute or not? Because I'm using only characters, right? Will it execute? Yes or no? Okay, okay. All of my friends says yes, but the answer is no. The answer is no, it will not execute. The main reason is, what does the rule says? Apart from underscore, you are not supposed to use any special character. Even though if you have space, it is considered as a special character only, friends. Space is considered as a special character. So let me execute. I'll get an error. And what is the error? Syntax error. Okay. If you remove the space, it will execute. That makes the difference. I hope it's making sense. Then comment what is the output for line number 190. Yes, due to space, we are getting error. Good. Line number 190 will also get not executed, friends. Even line number 190 will not execute. Why? Because of dollar symbol. A new special symbol is being used, which is not allowed in variables. So this will also throw error. Invalid syntax. Good, good. What about line number 192? What happens if I execute line number 192? Will it execute or not? Because my variable name is tot underscore sal, nothing but total salary. I just kept in a shortcut. Okay. Will it execute or not? Line number 192 will execute successfully. Good. Why? I can use special symbol that is only underscore. Even though, underscore is used, that doesn't mean special symbol is used. Okay. For only underscore, there is an exception. We can use underscore in our, variable names. So here is the output. I'm done. So if I scroll down, probably you'll see the variable name here. How am I able to quickly go through the names is all the variable names that we have. Okay. In the sessions memory will be arranged alphabetical order. In an alphabetical order, you see A, P. Okay. Then T, X. With starting from A till Z within an alphabet order, the variable names will be arranged. Okay. That is one tip that I can give for you. Accordingly, you can go and cross check whether you will get that variable inside your Explorer or not. Now, the fourth rule. What does the fourth rule say? All variables in Python are case sensitive. Okay, so that means, what does case sensitive means? We'll understand with an example, friends. I'm going to use a variable called age and I want to store a value 100. So obviously it will execute because, I'm just obeying the rules of variable. I mean, the ground rules is what I'm obeying, so that obviously line number 195 will execute. But I'm also coming up with the same variable. It is age. Okay. But if you see here, are these both same? The age variable that we have in line number 195 and the age variable that we have in line number 197, are these both same? No. No. Because the age variable that we have in line number 195 is defined in lowercase. What about line number 197? It is defined in uppercase. Okay. So when you execute line number 197, it will create a new variable. You see here, age, which is in lowercase, is one variable. Age, which is in uppercase, is again a different variable which is holding a value 89. Both are not same. That is why Python is case sensitive, friends. Okay, that is why Python is case sensitive. Then what happens to line number 199? I'm coming up with one more variable. It is again age, but it is in proper case. Lowercase, uppercase, proper case. What do you mean by proper case? Proper case means only the first letter or the first alphabet will be in uppercase, followed by rest of the characters will be in lowercase. That is called proper case. Okay. The age that we have in line number 199 is in proper case. And I am trying to store 79. Okay. This will also get executed, but it will create a new variable. Lowercase, uppercase, proper case, and the values. Making sense? So that is why it is called case sensitive. Both are not same. Okay, the age variable that we have in line number 195, 197, 199, 201, all of them are four different variables. The case is what it is changing. Accordingly, the variables will also change. Now, in 201, I am coming up with the same variable, but I'm changing the case. This time I'll make G in uppercase. Even this gets executed and it will create one more variable. See, I hope it's making sense. Right? Yes. Now, let me talk about keywords. We have understood that keywords in Python, they cannot be used as variable names. Yes, we cannot use keywords as variable names in Python. Okay. Why? Because these keywords, they are reserved words in Python and they do have some specific meaning. There is a specific meaning for each and every keyword. Okay. So let us use some keywords as variable names and see what happens. If is a keyword, friends. If is a keyword. Okay. Now, what happens if I use a keyword as a variable name and let me execute it? See, what is the error that I get? Syntax error. I got syntax error. Why? Because I am trying to use a keyword as a variable. Impossible. It is not possible. Then what happens to line number 208? Again, while is also a keyword. While that we have is again a keyword, and using a keyword as a variable name is not allowed. So that is the reason you'll get again a syntax error. What about line number 210, 210? Will it allow to use else? First of all, we should know whether it is a keyword or not. Am I right? Else is again a keyword. It's a keyword and which is not allowed to be used as a variable name. See, you'll get a same syntax error. Yes, you'll get same syntax error. What about if I use if 123 as variable name? Will it allow? Yes, will it allow line number 212 to execute or not? Here comes the question. Because if is a keyword followed by I have some digits. If you have if alone, only then it will be a keyword. But do I have only if? No, I don't have only if. I have if 123. So I can use this if 123 as a variable name successfully. It will execute. I hope it's making sense. Only if you use keywords, then it becomes a problem. You cannot use them. It throws errors. You'll get syntax error. See, what I'm trying to do, I know that while is a keyword, but in front of while, if I use a underscore, can I use this underscore while as a keyword? I mean, as a variable name? Obviously, obviously, I can use underscore while as a variable name and it will execute. See, making sense? What about line number 216? Friends, talk to me. You are supposed to interact with me, not with others. Right? What happens to line number 126? 216? I'm using same if. Okay, but the if that I'm using, it is not in lowercase. If it is in lowercase, it becomes a keyword. Okay, but if that I'm using is in uppercase and I can use it as a variable name. Only if that I have in lowercase, that becomes a keyword. If I change the case, obviously it is not a keyword. No more it is a keyword. So it will execute. See, somewhere. Yes, here. Is it making sense? Good, good going. What happens to line number 218? Int is equals to 12.34. Akhil, I don't know whether int is a keyword or not. Hold on. I'll tell how you are supposed to identify whether it is a keyword or not. Okay. Int is equals to 12.34 will execute because int is not a keyword. Int is not a keyword. Then in the same way, float is not a keyword. True is not a keyword. Sorry, true is a keyword. Okay. So whatever we have true in this case is a keyword, which is in proper case. T in uppercase followed by rest of the characters in lowercase. What if I change the case? If I keep the entire characters of true in lowercase, this is not a keyword no more. Okay. So it obviously executes. Fine. If somehow, if you have knowledge on keywords, you can identify which is a keyword and accordingly you can use it as a variable or not, you can understand. But first hand, how do you know whether it is a keyword or not? For that, we have a module. Okay, there is a module called keyword friends. In Python, there is a module called keyword. Okay, so this key, what is a module? Yesterday we have discussed a module. What is a module? What do you mean by module? Module is a nothing but, you know, it's a collection of functions, variables, classes. Okay, probably I'll talk about more regarding module in the upcoming sessions. okay, where we discuss modules, packages, libraries. Okay, so there is a module called keyword. Okay, this keyword module have the list of keywords that we have in Python. Okay, and any module, okay, it has to be imported into the memory first. So for that, we are supposed to keep this command as import module name. So import is again a keyword which helps us to import modules, packages, libraries and all. So import keyword is what I have to keep, and this will import the module into the memory. Okay, when it imports the module, I'm going to print the list of keywords that we have in Python as a list. I'll get all the list of keywords. How? Keyword.kwlist will print the list of keywords in Python. Kwlist is an attribute. Okay, what is an attribute? We'll understand. No worries. Kwlist is an attribute in keyword module, and this will return us all the list of keywords in Python. You see here? Oh, Akhil, I probably now I can understand. Here I see all the list of keywords. False, true, none, if, import, while, try, else. So that is why in the previous case, if you try to use these keywords, it did not allow us, to use them as variables. But if you change, you see, true, which is in proper case, is a keyword. This is a keyword. But if I change the case of true, what did I do? I have changed the case of true to lowercase. When I have completely changed the case of true to lowercase, no more it is a keyword. It became a variable. Okay, so that is how you are supposed to interpret whether it is a keyword or not. So this particular list of keywords, so in Python, especially in the current updated latest version of Python 3.13, there are 36 keywords, and these 36 keywords cannot be used as, variable names. No, we cannot use these keywords as variable names. And between version to version, the number of keywords will get increased, friends. Right? Yes. Now let us understand the final rule of ground rule of variables. It is always recommended to come up with user-friendly names for variables. If I want to store, employee salary, instead of keeping the variable name as like this, see, sal underscore of underscore an underscore employee, it's better if you keep it as emp, employee underscore sal. So this is not recommended, but anyhow, this is also right. This is valid. It is not against the ground rules, but not recommended. Okay, so shortcuts, and it should be like user friendly, right? So I'll try to execute both. See, even line number 234, it's a valid variable name. There is nothing wrong, but not recommended. What is recommended? User friendly names. If you keep small and crisp, that is recommended. So I hope it's clear. All the 6 ground rules, whatever we have discussed. Okay. For each and every ground rule, we have also understood different examples. We have understood multiple examples. Okay. Ensure you stick to the 6 ground rules when you are defining a variable. Okay. Whenever you are defining a variable within a program, just follow all these 6 ground rules, friends. Right? Yes. Now I'll go back. So this is an understanding of the basic and the fundamental topic in Python, its variables. Okay, and we also understood the rules, the ground rules that we are supposed to obey when we declare a variable. Fine. And it's not just like watching to this session and ignoring it. As I have discussed earlier, this should be a hands-on session. Okay. Post after this session, you're supposed to stay back, sit and type the code. Okay. For each and every rule, you have to come up with at least 3 examples. Okay. 3 to 5 examples is what I'm expecting for each and every ground rule, so that you can practice variables topic on the same day. Okay, whatever we discuss in the class immediately has to be done. If not, at least on the following day. Only then you can grab the concepts of Python. If not, there is no use of just watching this. Practice is mandatory. Hands-on sessions are mandatory. I cannot be back of you, right? So I'll be keep on, talking about the hands-on. Okay. At the end of this particular session, I'll be giving you the task, right? So till then, let us go and start a new topic. The next topic that we have is a small topic. It is commenting. Comments. What is the purpose of comments? Are comments very important in Python? Yes. The comments that we are going to keep in Python, they have a lot of useful purpose. These comments, they are non-executable lines. They don't execute. When you execute a program in a Python, when you are executing a Python program, the comments that you have within this program, they'll not execute. And they help us to improve our code readability. Okay. Whenever you will be opening back your program, okay. If not, when you are sharing, see, when you are sharing this code, whatever the code that you come up with, a script, okay. So this script, in order to understand in a structured manner by others, obviously comments help a lot. Okay. And whenever you revisit your code after long time, okay, for understanding in a smooth and efficient manner, again, the comments play a crucial role. Yes. Okay. So in short, comments helps us to improve the readability. Then we can also add it as a document the purpose. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are going to perform, the things, you are just documenting the purpose at the same time. Okay. So these are the benefits of commenting. And in Python, there are 2 types of commenting, friends. One is single line commenting and the second one is multi-line commenting. What is single line commenting and what is multi-line commenting? Okay, whenever you want to comment a single line as part of your script, if you want to comment only a single line, then we use a symbol called hash. Hash symbol is used to comment this single line. And this is called as single line comments. This is called single line comments. Then what does multi-line comments means? Simple. If I want to comment multiple lines, obviously I have to go with multi-line commenting, and it will be done by either triple single quotations or triple double quotations. Either triple single quotations or triple double. It is triple double. Don't get confused. Triple single, triple double quotations is what we use for multi-line commenting. Hope it's clear, right? Yes. Now I'll go back. So that is the reason why you see here for each and every line, what is the symbol that I'm using? Hash. This is single line commenting. Probably did I use any multi-line commenting? No. Okay. Let me use multi-line commenting just to show you. I'll use multi-line commenting. See, I want to comment this all the 10 lines, all these 12 lines. What did I do? At the starting, at the end, I placed triple single quotations. I placed triple single quotations. So immediately all these 12 lines became a comment. That's it. Either I can use triple single or if not, triple double is also accepted. See. So just ensure that you use at the start and stop. You're done. Okay. So this is triple single and triple double multi-line commenting. Hope it's clear, friends. Right? Yes. Now let me go back, and this is one of the important topic. Okay. Very fundamental topic in Python program. Okay. It is data types. From here onwards, your attention should be more. Okay. Time again we'll be using data types. Very fundamental topic, friends. And folks, whoever have good amount of knowledge on Python, can you tell me how many data types do we have in Python? What are the data types that you are known? Probably I'll tell you, many of you will say 5 or 6. Am I right? Yes. Many of you say like integer, float, boolean, complex, then followed by strings, list, set, dictionary. This is what we tell. This is what we are aware of, but not exactly. What is the purpose of data types? We'll understand. See, data types in Python, they are used to allocate sufficient amount of memory space. Okay, whatever the value that you are going to store. For example, if I want to store 10, an integer. If not, if I want to store a decimal, 5.5. If I want to store some characters like next era Unitech. Okay, so in this way, depending on the value, data type helps us to, provide memory space for the values. Enough amount of memory space will be provided by the data types. Python is dynamic typed programming language. What is the meaning of dynamic typed programming language, friends? That means we are the programmers. Okay, whoever is going to build the code, they need not mention the data type explicitly. Whenever you are going to define a variable, when you are storing a value inside a variable, for example, x is equals to 10. Did I define that the value that I'm going to store, in x is integer? No. Did I do like this? No. Python is a dynamic typed programming language, and nowhere as part of our Python script, we are going to keep the data type, friends. Okay, so that will be done by the environment itself. The execution environment is going to decide the data type, and accordingly, it will also allocate the sufficient memory space. And in Python, there are 14 data types. It's not 5 or 10. There are 14 data types. Isn't it? Yes. 14 data types we have in Python. And these 14 types are classified into 6 types. What are the 6 types of data types that we have in Python are starting from basic, fundamental category data types, sequence category data types, list category data types, set category data types, dict category data types, and finally none type category data types. So these are the 6 types of data types. Okay, these are 6 categories of data types in which we have in total 14 data types. In fundamental category data types, we have integer, float, bool, complex. Then under sequence category data types, we have str, bytes, byte array, range. Under list category data types, we have list, tuple. And list category data types, set category data types, and dict category data types. These three, they are also called as collection data types because we can have a collection of data types as part of these category data types. They can hold multiple data type elements. We'll understand one by one, steadily and slowly we'll understand, friends. Okay. Then set category data types. We have set, frozen set. Under dict category data types, we have only dict. And finally, under none type, we have only none. So just count all these. Under the 6 category data types, we have in total 14 data types. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2, 14. Satisfying? Yes. So slow by, not at a glance, we'll understand one by one, slowly and steadily, starting from fundamental category data types. Okay, we'll understand what is the purpose of understanding fundamental category data types, then what is integers, then what is float, bool, complex, one by one. Right. The first category data types is fundamental category data types. What do you mean by, fundamental category data types? What is the purpose of fundamental category data types is, these fundamental category data types helps to store only a single value. If you want to store single value to your variable, go and use fundamental category data types. And in Python, there are 4 types of fundamental category data types. They are integer, float, bool, complex. What is int, float, bool, complex? We'll understand, friends. No worries. Okay. Let us start with int. But I hope the purpose of fundamental category data types is very clear. The purpose of fundamental category data types is to store single values. If I want to store a value 10, if I want to store a value, 10.9, then I am supposed to go and use fundamental category data types because this is a single value. Here, this is again a single value. So in order to store all the single values, you are supposed to use either these 4 types of, data types. Making sense? Now let us get a clear understanding of int data type. The first fundamental category data type that we have is int. Okay. What exactly is int category data type? I mean, under fundamental category data type, we have the first type as int. Okay. So int is one of the predefined class. It is a predefined class. What is a class? Question raises. Hold on. We'll understand. Okay. No worries. We'll understand. For time being, just assume that int is a predefined class. What is the meaning of class and all we'll understand as part of oops. No worries. Then, what is the purpose of integer? Int allows us to store any values, any numbers. It might be whole numbers, natural numbers, integers, any numbers, but The numbers should not have decimal values. So that means I can store 100, I can store minus 100, I can store 1000, right? So in order to store any values, any numbers which don't have decimals, okay, decimal values, if a number has decimal values, I cannot use int data type. No, this is not used. There is some other data type which is used to store a float value data type, right? So if you have decimal values, int data type will not be used. But if I want to store any number which don't have any decimal values, then I can use int data type. Okay, let us go and understand some examples, friends. Okay, probably I'll go back to Spider. So I have kept all the coding within the Spider itself. Let us free. By the time we go there, all the memory gets free. And let me also exclude the private variables so that I do not see any kind of variables as of now. Right. So here we have the list of the data types, again the same. Now let me go and explain the examples for integers. Integers. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to store a value, a number, it is 19 to a variable. And it is A. Anyhow, I'm satisfying, I'm obeying the ground rule, so it is accepted. So let me execute it. Will it execute? Yes, obviously it will execute. It got executed. And I can see the value that got stored in A is 19. The value that got stored in A is 19. Okay. What kind of value it is? Integer. Why it is integer? Because it is a number which did not have any kind of decimal values. So what data type will be used? Obviously int. What is the purpose of int? Purpose of int data type is to store any number without decimal values. Does 19 have any decimal values? No. So that is the reason, int type is used. And in the backend, within the memory space, sufficient amount of memory will be used to store 19 inside A. Right. Let me print A, friends. Let me print A. I'm going to use a function. So print is a function. Okay. How can you understand whether it is a function or not? Okay. So this, again, it's a very important topic. Function is a block of code or lines of code. Okay. We'll understand more about functions in the upcoming topics, right? So print is a function, and a function will have parentheses. What do you mean by parentheses? Parentheses are nothing but the regular braces. Whatever the regular braces that you see here, okay, are called as parentheses. And a function will every time will have parentheses. Okay, so that is the short tip that I would like to give, because so that you can identify whether it is a function or not. Print is a function which helps us to print the output to the console. So if I keep it as print of A, obviously the value that is present inside A will be printed to the console. So the output will be 19. See, the output will be 19. In the same way, I'm going to use one more function. It is type. What does type function does? Type function will return the data type. Whatever the value that is associated to this variable, this type function will return the data type associated for this variable. Okay, so type of A will return int. See, is it making sense? I hope it's clear, right? In the same way, I'll go and use one more example. I'm going to explain one more example. Okay. So the value that I'm going to store is 999 inside A. Okay. So what data type it is going to assign? Again, it will be an integer. Why? Because for 999, there are no decimal values. So obviously int data type will be used. Okay. So int data type is what it is used. Yes. Now print of A will return me 999. Type of A will return me integer. What is the data type that was associated with A? Variable A, it is integer. Making sense? Yes. Parallelly, it's better if you give responses over the chat. Then let us also understand one more function. It is ID. ID function will return us address. Okay. The location, the address within the memory where this particular value got stored. Okay. ID function will return the address in the memory. So ID of A will return the address of A in the memory. So this is the address within the memory at this location. We have our variable. The value gets stored. Yes. Wherever the value got stored in the memory. So this is the address. I hope it's making sense, right? So we have understood the purpose of integer. Okay. Initially, we understood the purpose of fundamental category data types, followed by integer data type. Okay. Within fundamental category data types, there are 4 different types: int, float, bool, and complex. We have started with int data type. Int, purpose of int is to store data where it does not have decimal values, the numbers without decimal values. Right. Now I'll go back here. Int data type, it also helps us to store different values, different types of values. Apart from decimal numbers, whatever we are using, they are decimal numbers. What if I want to use binary numbers, octal numbers, hexadecimal numbers? Still we can use, int data type. Using int data type, we can store all the different values, different number system values can be stored. Okay. So yesterday we have understood, we have discussed about number systems. So let us understand what are the different types of number systems we have. Okay. And how int data type is used to store the values of these 4 number systems. Right? So in general, there are 4 number systems. The first one is decimal numbers. Here we have a detailed explanation for all the number systems, friends. Okay. So if you see here, the first number system that we have is decimal number system. And this is by default the number system that we are using. And what are the digits that we have in decimal number system? Starting from 0 till 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, so on till 9. These are the digits that we have in decimal number system. And in total, there are 10 digits in decimal number system. Okay, so decimal number system is the number system that we use. Okay, whatever we are able to understand, okay, by humans, that is nothing but decimal number system. And since we have 10 numbers, 10 digits as part of decimal number system, the base for the decimal number system will be 10. Friends, if you are from probably CSC or IT background, even from electronics, you will be aware of all the number systems. But why am I teaching again from the basic is we have our we have our friends coming from different domains. Okay. So if you are already aware of all these topics, it will be a kind of revision session If you are not aware of this number systems topic, it will be a new session. Okay, try to understand each and every topic. Okay, if you understand this number system, I can talk about int data type, how it is used to store these different number systems, right? Yes. Now, decimal number system is very clear because we humans we use decimal number systems. Yes. Next to decimal number systems, we have binary number system. Okay, which is understood by machines, computers. What does binary number system have? The digits in binary number system are just only two, either 0 or 1. Okay, so either 0 or 1 are the only digits that we have in binary number system. So in total, you have two digits, 0 and 1. That's it. Because we have two digits, the base in binary number system is 10. I mean 2. So friends, whatever I am discussing, I'll be using all these again as part of conversions. Okay, focus, right? Next to binary number system, we have octal number system. And in octal number system, octa, which is nothing but 8. So the digits in octal number system starts from 0 and we have till 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In total, 8. From 0, right? So in total, there are 8 digits. Since we have 8 digits, the base of octal number system will be 8. Then finally, hexadecimal. Hexa means 6. Decimal means 10. That is what we have understood. In decimal number system, how many digits we have? 10. So decimal is nothing but 10. Hexa is 6. So when you combine both, it is 16. So that means in hexadecimal number system, we should have 16 digits. But hold on. Friends, can we have 16 digits? Impossible, right? We know that we have only 10 digits. 0 from 9. From 0 till 9. But how can we get the rest of 6 digits? Starting from 0 till 9, we have 10 digits followed by, rest of the 6 digits, they have come up with alphabets. A, which is nothing but 10. B, which is nothing but 11. C, which is nothing but 12. D, which is talking about 13. E, 14. F, 15. In this way, I have in total 16 digits. In hexadecimal number system, these 16 digits will be used. And in total, as we have 16 digits in hexadecimal number system, the base of hexadecimal number system is 16. Should we learn all these number systems? Yes, we should have an understanding of number systems. Decimal number system, excuse me, binary number system, octal number system, and hexadecimal number system. Mainly number system followed by, what are the digits that we have within this number system and the base. Whatever the base that we are using as part of the number system, we should have a clear understanding with respect to this information, right? So I'll be using all the concepts. Now let us focus on the conversions, friends. Okay, what if I have a decimal number and this decimal number, if I want to convert to binary system, is it possible? Yes. In the same way, if I have a binary number system, can I get a decimal number system from it? Yes. So let us focus on the conversions. If you understand the conversions, in the back end, when you run the code, the same conversions is what happens. Okay, whatever we are discussing now, when you execute the code in the backend, the same conversions happen. So that is the reason we have understood number systems first, followed by the number of digits present in each and number system, then the base. Now let us focus on conversions. So if I have a decimal number system, okay, let me take a number, random number 13 is what I'm taking. Okay, this number, okay, is present in decimal number system, right? So that is the reason you are representing the base with 10. We know that decimal number system should be represented with base 10. And I'm going to convert a decimal number system to binary number system. So this X I want to find. And I know that for binary number system, the base is 2. The base is 2. So simply I'll start dividing the number with 2. Whatever system that you're going to convert, okay, take the base of that number and start dividing the number, right? So we know that 2 6 are 12 and the remainder is 1. So this is again simple, calculation that we have done as part of schooling, friends, right? Then again, I'll divide by 2. 2 3s are 6. Exactly, it got divided. So the remainder is 0. Again, I'll divide with 2. 2 1s are 2. The remainder is 1. And again, I'll divide with 2. The remainder is 0. Okay. So it is 0. And here it is 1. Because we know that it's not possible to get 1 in 2 table. So in this direction, if you go, you'll get the binary number. Okay, so what is the number? It is 1101. The binary number for 13. So 13, which is in decimal number system, I got converted into binary number system. What is a binary number system? How do you represent it for 13? It is 1101. That's it. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. See, why am I talking about each and every part is we have our friends coming from non-computers background, right? We have our friends coming from different domains. Majority of them, they are not, they are aware of these topics. So that is the reason, let us be clear on the topics, friends. Okay, then once if you are clear on the topics, you need not focus when you are doing coding. When you start writing your Python script, you need not, you need not work on the conversions. If you just understand, that is more than enough, right? So what I am trying to do is, now if I take the same binary number, okay, I'll convert this binary number to a decimal number. Okay, from a binary number system, I'm going to convert into decimal number system. And how can I do it? Is take the base 2, okay, so just take the power. Here we have a clear understanding. See, I'll just divide the values 1101 and I'll represent with the powers of 2, as we know that binary number system has a base 2. Okay, so when you take base 2, okay, so I'll take starting with 2 power 0, then 2 power 1. For 1, it will be 2 power 2. For 1, it will be 2 power 3. And I'll keep on adding. 1 gets multiplied with 2 power 0 plus 0 gets multiplied with 2 power 1. Then 1 gets multiplied with 2 square. 1 gets multiplied with 2 cube. And all these values will be multiplied. So anyhow, this is 0. 2 cube is 8. 2 square is 4. 2 power 0 is 1. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. So when you multiply all of these, when you add all of these, you'll get 13 back. So friends, it is very simple. Conversions are mandatory that you should be, aware of, because when you run the code, probably, you may not understand what exactly happens. So this is what happens in the backend. right? So we have understood how we are able to convert a decimal number system to a binary number system. In the same way, a binary number system being converted to decimal number system. In the same manner, I'll also do it for octal. Yes, I'll take a decimal number system and I'll convert it to octal number system. So 23 is a number that I have took and I'm converting this decimal number system to octal number system. And we are aware of that for a decimal number system, the base is 10 and for octal number system, it is 8. So just instead of 2 in the previous case, we'll start dividing the decimal number with 8. Okay, when you start dividing it by 8, you'll get an octal number. And we are aware that octal number should be between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only these numbers should be present in an octal number because only these are the digits that are used. Okay, in an octal number system, it uses just only these 8 digits. That's it, friends. Right? Then, in the same way, I'm going to convert. See, I'll just get the number in this way. So it is 23, which is in decimal number system. It got converted to an octal number system, which is 27. Okay, so representation is something important. 23 is in number, decimal number, but 27 that we have is in octal number. Okay, both are not seen. This is to the base 8 and this we have to the base 10. Then next to it we have the conversion of the same octal number back to decimal number. The same process where the base 8 will be used. I'll take the powers of 8 starting from 8 power 0 followed by 8 power 1. And the values gets multiplied with the corresponding values and these get added up. And finally, I should get 23 back. Am I getting 23? Yes. Okay. So this is how the conversions for decimal number system to octal number system and octal number system to decimal number system will be done. In the same way, can we also do it for hexagonal, hexadecimal? Yes. For hexadecimal, the base is 16. What is just changing is the method is same. The process is same, friends. Depending on the number system, I'm changing the base. Whatever the number system I am going to convert, accordingly, the base number will be taken up and we'll be dividing the value. Okay, so that number will be divided and you'll get the hexadecimal number. So what is the number that we got? So here the remainder is 12. 16 tens are 160. And the remainder that we got is 12. So in 12, in hexadecimal number system, 12 is nothing but C. Am I right? Yes. Then I'll try to also divide 10 with 16. Anyhow, we can't get 10 divided by 16. So 10 is nothing but A. Right? Yes. So in this way, I'll get the hexadecimal number. It is AC. So 172, which is in decimal number system, it got converted to hexadecimal number system. It is A and C. AC. In the same way, I'll do the process in the reverse process so that I'll convert the hexadecimal system back to decimal number system. I'll take the same hexadecimal number AC, I'll convert back to decimal number, okay, taking the powers of 16 and multiplying the values, finally adding them, I'll get the decimal number back. It is 172. Okay, in this way, we can complete all the conversions. And friends, probably when we run the code for the next time, okay, in the backend, the conversions will be done automatically and it will display the output. Making sense? Right. So I'll wind up here. I'll stop it here. Now it's time for our questions. If you have any kind of technical questions, yes, feel free to ask your questions for whatever we have discussed as part of class. We'll be also working on the hands-on in the coming session. Okay, I have multiple examples for each and every topic that we have discussed so far. And these examples we'll be discussing in the upcoming session, friends. Right? Yes. See, we have used KW list to get the list of keywords present in Python. Okay. KW list is an attribute in keyword module which returns us the list of keywords. See, where is it? Here. It is an attribute. What is an attribute? We'll discuss. That's not an issue. Okay. So this, uh, you know, attribute will be used to get the list of keywords. Probably I have to start it from here because is it clear, my friend? That additional topics we'll discuss tomorrow. Any other technical questions? Is variable yes, that is why I'm recommending you to use Spider. Whatever you see here, the variable explorer, this is the unique feature that Spider is providing us. Okay, no other IDE will provide variable explorer. You cannot observe properly. So if you are a beginner, my sincere advice is start using Spider for hands-on. You can use ideally, but my suggestion would be like, go and practice Spider. Use Spider. Yes. Is there any method for buying? This is the traditional method that is being followed. Yes. So friends, before I wind up the session, I am going to discuss a task. Okay. So I'll be giving a task on daily basis. Okay. You're supposed to work on the task and ensure that you complete it before the next session that you will be joining. Okay. So for today, you're supposed to come up with variables, at least 3 to 5 examples for each and every ground rule. Whatever the ground rules that we have defined, your own examples you have to define, save the script and keep it with you. Yeah, you can use any compiler. That's not an issue. But my suggestion, see, I know I have used multiple IDEs and I have even not only me, it's better always to use Spider if you are a beginner, friends. The main reason is the moment you write your code, you should also be in a stage to understand it. Okay, so here we have a lot of beautiful options, beautiful features that Spider is providing us, and that is why I'm recommending Spider. Hope it's making sense. Yes. And we have also shared the feedback link. Okay, before you leave, I want everyone to share your valuable feedback. And thank you so much, guys, for joining the session and making it interactive. Okay, so do join the sessions on daily basis and learn Python by end of this 30-day session. Thank you so much for your valuable feedback. Any other technical questions to be addressed? Okay, then we'll wind up the session. We'll continue from tomorrow. Until then, have a great day. Signing off. Thank you, friends. Have a great day. Bye.